Hi, children and teachers and any parents that are here as well. Welcome to the Book Nook. I'm Victoria Carlton. Most of the kids that I teach call me Vicky. And at the moment, it's coming up fairly close to Christmas, so I'm having a feast of Christmas books. So I wanted to show you a book that I discovered a few years ago that I really, really love. It's just called Sarah's Two Nativities. And it's by Janine Fraser. She wrote the words, and Helene Magison, who did the most amazing illustrations for this book. And I find this very, very interesting, this book, because it really taught me something that I didn't know. Okay. And I think you will probably find it quite interesting as well. Just going to get to the first page. This is the story of Sarah, daughter of Sadek and Anna, granddaughter of Ali and Azar, and granddaughter of Maria and Paul. You can see her family there. Lovely big family. Grandmother Azar tells Sarah stories from the Holy Quran. When she comes to visit, she cooks a feast, and she lets Sarah help make the kofta. Do you like cooking, children? Do you like to help your parents with the cooking? I love cooking, and I especially love cooking when I've just finished teaching and I'm really, really tired. I like to just cook. For some reason, I find it really relaxing. Grandmother Maria tells Sarah stories from the Bible. When Grandmother Maria comes to visit, she makes cupcakes and lets Sarah measure and mix and lick the spoon. I don't think there's anything better than making a cake and then licking the spoon. Oh, I love, love, love doing that. In Sarah's house, the Bible and the Quran sit together on a shelf. Two books bursting with stories. Sarah loves the Nativities best, the stories her grandmothers tell at Christmas about the birth of the baby Jesus. So both those books, the Bible and the Quran, tell about the birth of the baby Jesus. And that's something that I didn't know. So it was great to learn something new. Grandmother Maria's story is from the Bible. Once there was a young woman whose name was Mary. An angel told her that she would have a child of God. She would call his name Jesus, and he would bring peace to the world. We need that, don't we, children? Peace to the world. I do love angels, sighs Sarah. And I love angels too, and I especially like decorating angels and putting them all over my house at this time of the year. Mary and her husband Joseph travelled to Bethlehem. There was no room at the inn. The inn's just like a hotel. So they stayed in a stable where the baby was born. They wrapped him in swaddling clothes. That means clothes where you could wrap a baby up nice and tight. And they laid him in a manger. And a manger is a place that animals come and eat their hay from. Angels sang in the heavens. What a beautiful sound that must have been. And shepherds looked up and they saw a bright star. They were amazed because it was like a new star that they hadn't seen before. They followed the star to the stable, and there they worshipped the baby Jesus. 3 wise men also followed the star, bringing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They went in and they worshipped the baby Jesus, child of God, sent to bring peace to the world. And it's a beautiful story, isn't it, children? It's a story we love to listen to every single Christmas, lots of times. Amen, amen, nods Grandmother Azar, meaning she agrees. And she begins her story from the Holy Quran. Once there was a young woman whose name was Mary. An angel told her she would have a child and she would call his name Jesus. Mary asked, "How can this be? I'm not married." But the angel said, "Allah needs only to say, 'Let it be,' and it is so." Mary went into the desert and she lay beneath a palm tree, weak with hunger and thirsty. She thought she was going to die. She thought she was going to die. She was so thirsty and very, very hungry, of course, as well. But Allah made a river at her feet and ripe dates to fall from the tree. Mary ate the dates and drank the water, and the baby was born. When Mary brought her baby home to her family, he opened his mouth and spoke. He said, "Allah has made me blessed wherever I may be." "Amen," said Grandmother Maria softly, to tell that she agrees. My favourite part of the story is when the baby Jesus talks, said Sarah. And that would be an amazing part of the story. But then a question begins to wriggle inside Sarah's head. I like these stories. They are the same in some ways, but they're different in others. So how can they both be true? It's an interesting question, isn't it? That is a good question, Sarah, says Grandmother Azar. Some say only the story in the Quran is true, and some say only the story in the Bible is true. But how can we say one is truer than the other when both tell of the mystery of God? They are both good stories, says Sarah, glad she doesn't have to choose. Dinner is ready, says Sarah's mother. First, let's give thanks for this feast, says Grandmother Maria. And for family together, says Sarah, taking her mother's hand. And for family, agrees her father, taking Sarah's other hand, because family together in peace is the greatest blessing of all. And that's true, isn't it? Being with your family at any time, and especially celebration times like Christmas, is such a great blessing. It's wonderful to have the time to really be with them, enjoy their company, play games, have fun, and be able to talk to them. So I'm going to be reading you lots of stories, Christmas stories, over the next few weeks. Thank you for listening to one of my favourite stories. And you might like to see if you can get that book out of your school library, or maybe you could go to the public library and get it. Okay, thanks. Bye, and I'll see you next time.